Stronger Than You Know is the new single. Did you know outright,
Yes.
hey, this is a single?
You know what? I actually hadn't planned to release it as a single. I had planned to release a different song, but given everything that's happening in the world right now, I just felt like it was better suited to this moment in time. So I made the decision to release it instead of the other one I had planned.
Right. With
Yeah.
singles coming out before releases, that isn't something that
Hmm.
people were doing 5, 10 years ago, but nowadays it looks like people put out 3 or 4 singles through digital before the album comes out. Is that the plan for your new
Yeah.
album?
Yes. Yeah. That's the plan.
And Warrior was the first one, which you co-directed the music video of. How long did that
That's
video
right.
take to make?
Oh, we shot it in one afternoon, and it was a crew of women from my hometown, and an old friend choreographed the dancing, and yeah, it was really a sort of a DIY team effort, and we pulled it all together in one day. Obviously, the editing was done later, but um, it was a pretty great team effort.
So, as somebody who co-directed the video, have you always had aspirations to make films or short films?
No, I actually never really have, and I didn't even plan to co-direct this video. I just had the concept and sort of a vision in my mind, and when the day came, I guess I ended up playing a little more of an active role than I even thought I would. And Mila, who was the co-director, when it came time to do the credits and everything, she insisted that I share the directing credit with her because she just felt that it had really been a team effort. And she has since been kind of encouraging me actually to think about maybe exploring film a little bit, which is something I had never even contemplated.
That's a very rare thing when you have a director that actually wants to share credit and all that. Really glad to hear that, to say the least. Do you have plans to
Yeah,
do more videos for the album? Understandably, people can't really get out of the house much, though, but everyone is kind
yeah,
of in webcam mode right now.
yeah. We do have for the single that I was planning to release this month, but I'm going to wait a little longer. We do have a video already finished for that, and a live video for that song as well. And I'm going to be releasing a lyric video for Stronger Than You Know next week, which I created mostly at home here myself, just using iMovie. But then I sent it actually to that same friend who co-directed the Warrior video, and she added just some cool effects and sort of made it look a little more artsy. And so yeah, that was totally done from home on a budget of $0, and I'm going to be releasing that next week. So
And you get a video director credit on that one, am I right?
the lyrics video, I don't know if that counts as direction. I guess it was sort of more just editing, but yeah, I guess. Do
I
you
say
have
you take
director
the
credits
credit.
for lyric videos? Yeah, I guess
Definitely
so.
take the credit on that one. So, is there a firm release date for the album?
Yeah, well, June 12th is the planned release, and I did toy with delaying things, just given the crisis and having to cancel all my tour dates. But I think I've already had quite a number of people pre-order the record, and the date's been set for quite a while. So I think I'm just going to stick with it, and we'll just see what happens and how things roll out.
Now, the prior album had a lot of acclaim, to say the least, and one of the songs that caught my attention was Hearts on Fire. In the music
Mm.
video, was that you actually jumping off the bridge?
Yes, yeah, it was, and actually, it was early May here in Prince Edward Island when I jumped off that bridge. So it was very cold. It was only 4 degrees Celsius, both the air and the water. It was very, very cold. But if you look really closely in the opening shot, you can see that under the outfit, under the blouse and the skirt I was wearing, I had a shorty wetsuit on, layered under my clothes. So, as did my two friends who jumped off the bridge with me. So it was a very quick one take. into the water and out, and then we jumped in a van that had the heat pumping, and we had lots of blankets and toques and stuff. But that was, yeah, that definitely captured the essence of the song, and that I was really living in the moment and doing something that, you know, made me feel that rush and made me feel very alive. But we definitely hesitated before we jumped. I was like, this is the dumbest movie, but this is the dumbest idea I've ever had, like ever in my life, right before we jumped. But anyway, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, looked like it was a lot of fun. And people who dig further through your YouTube channel will see a great cover of I Want to Dance with Somebody. Is that somebody, or is that something that you'd thought about prior to recording that day, or is that really just an impromptu thing, in arrangements aside?
Yeah, I had figured out the arrangement in advance of that, and that live video is a collaboration with the Atlantic String Machine, which is a string ensemble based here in PEI, and we were planning to do some tour dates together in the future. So we had already started working on some cool arrangements of songs, and yeah, that song. It's funny. I grew up listening to it, of course, but I never really listened to the lyrics in the verses until just a couple of years ago when I was making dinner one night, and the lyrics just struck me because I always thought it was such a happy, poppy dance song, and the lyrics are so full of longing and melancholy. I just had to sit down at the piano and reimagine that song. So.
Yeah, that's a common thing where if you look at other Whitney Houston songs, even if she didn't write them, like The Greatest Love of All, that is one of the saddest songs ever written.
Oh, yeah. It's so sad, and it's incredible. I play that regularly at live shows, and people connect with it so deeply, and so many people have the same kind of reaction that they're like, wow, I never really listened to the lyrics, and now that I do, they're like, oh, you know, it's amazing how that song continues to connect with people. And like you say, I mean, Whitney didn't even write it, but certainly everyone associates it with her, and it's tied to so many memories from people's lives.
Yeah, I'd heard a cover of I Want to Dance with Somebody by the Lemonheads, which was kind of an obscure thing, and it was a goofy, jokey kind of cover. But it is one of those songs that, yes, when you listen to the lyrics, you go, woo, this means something else.
Oh, yeah, big time.
When it comes to your music itself, I can kind of hear it in two ways. I can kind of hear it as you just sitting down at the piano and writing and adding the strings and the flair later. But then again, I could also hear you starting off with the flair. How does it usually go?
Yeah, I do usually write on my own at the piano. But for the new record, I tried to push myself to take some songs to the studio that weren't fully realized and that I hadn't played live. I hadn't toured them. And so I worked collaboratively with my producer, Daniel Ledwell, quite a lot to figure out the rhythms and the layers and the different melodic elements that we were going to add there. But definitely melody always comes first for me, and lyrics come a little bit later, and writing choruses and the initial framework for a song. That's usually just me at the piano. But I do often have my band in mind while I'm writing. So I'm thinking about, you know, drums and strings and all those elements that will come in later.
You never know when it comes to singer-songwriters as to what their gateway to creativity is or was. Were you ever a metal person?
No, but I did listen to a lot of rock growing up, like classic rock. My dad was in a rock band in the 60s, and so growing up, I heard him playing his electric guitar in the basement almost every night when I was falling asleep. So there's lots of what you might expect in terms of rock, and then also there was some different stuff like, you know, Meatloaf, Bat Out of Hell 2 was in heavy rotation at my house growing up, and Blood, Sweat, and Tears, and, you know, lots of different stuff. My dad's a very eclectic taste.
Cool. So bring it back to you here. What exactly is passing the time beyond having to do interviews like this?
Oh, well, I have 3 young kids who are 9, 7, and 5, and an 8-month-old puppy. So that takes up a lot of my time. But then at night after everyone's in bed, I've done a few live stream shows, and I've been part of a few collaborative video projects, and done a little bit of tracking vocals for some projects from home and things like that. But mostly, like everyone else, I'm just trying to take it day by day, and trying to stay positive and stay well, and that's about all we can do these days, I think.
So in a way, it sounds like it's even busier now than it was for you before COVID happened.
It is, actually. I was thinking that the other week. I was supposed to be on tour out in Western Canada, and I was home with the kids and the dog and trying to do all these things connected to the release. And I was thinking that very same thing. It didn't feel like a break at all. It felt much more stressful. And it's funny because the song Stronger Than You Know, the initial inspiration for it happened, I wrote it so long before COVID-19, but it's really, about the way that going out in the forest and being among the trees can just bring this sense of peace and help you connect with your inner strength. And for me, through this crisis, the forest has been my saving grace, because I can just go out. If I need, if my husband gets home from work and I've had a really stressful day, I can just go take the dog for a walk and be in nature, and it just sort of recenters me and grounds me. And it's been really, really helpful in coping through this crisis. So the song, I think that's why I decided to release it instead of the other one I had been thinking about. The forest has helped me get through this, and so I hope that the song might be able to bring people some comfort and some strength.
Great. Well, I am looking forward to hearing the rest of the album, to say the least. So in closing, Rachel, any last words for the kids?
Oh, goodness. Well, I think kids are just so resilient and incredible. And I know mine amaze me every single day, but I hope that kids have the opportunity, where they're living, to get outside and get some fresh air and maybe go explore in the woods or do some tree climbing, because we just got to stay connected and stay well.
Paltrocast.